Okay, so this is picnic.com, and it's a great website for editing and enhancing your photos, as well as adding a little bit of SEO to them. Okay, so what we're going to do here is what you would do is you would create an account, and as you can see, this is the beautiful Spit Up account. So what I'm going to do is once I've uploaded a photo, we're just going to go ahead and go to Manage Uploads. We're going to click this link here. Okay, and this is the photo that I uploaded earlier. We're just going to go ahead and click Edit. So we're just going to go ahead and start by cropping. We're going to go ahead and take out this exposure that's down at the bottom there. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and just get rid of that exposure there down at the bottom. This is what we really want to see is Hanson's cute little face. Okay, so we went ahead and got rid of that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and round the edges. We're going to go ahead and click the Create tab. And you can see there's lots of different features that you can do here. You can make it look like a postage stamp. We'll do that here. But what I really want to do is just round the edges. So I'm just going to click here and click Rounded Edges. See, it rounded the edges immediately. Now you can just leave it at that. You can hit Apply if that's how you like it. If you want them super round, you can just go ahead and move this bar here and just move it round, round, round. And he looks like a circle. Now we can just pull it back, and it goes ahead and it goes back to more of a squared look. You can just round them. I like them rounded just a little bit. There we go. See, that's what I like. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit Apply. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and hit Transparent Corners. Because if we don't hit that, what it would do is the space here between the rounded edge and the actual end of the photo would be white, which is perfectly fine if your website has a white background. If by chance it has, maybe like you have a light pink background, or you have like, if you have maybe a darker color background, you definitely want to make sure that it's transparent because you don't want it to look white in the corner. Kind of takes away from the creative look you're giving it with the rounded edges. So we're going to go ahead and hit Transparent Corners, and we're going to hit Apply. And that takes care of that. Now, what you might want to do also is add a border to it. You can just change that. I'm not sure I like how that looks, so we're not going to do that, okay? Just going to unclick it. It's very easy. See, I love how you can make the changes. If you don't like it, click it, it goes away. No big deal. Or you can also come over here and hit the undo button. Okay, what I am going to do next, though, is I'm going to add a drop shadow, which I love. Love the look of a drop shadow. So what we want to do is also on this one, hit transparent background down here. Make sure that we want the background to be transparent. We don't want it to have a color at all. Just makes it a little bit easier. You never know. You might want to use this photo outside of your blog. You might want to upload it to something else. Maybe you want to, put it on a card or, something like that. So you definitely want to make sure you have that option so you don't have to go through and do this again. So I like the shadow. So what we're going to do is we're just going to increase the distance from the photo to 12. See that? And it just increased the shadow down here at the bottom, makes it look a little thicker. So it just adds a little bit of detail to it, okay? We're going to increase the size of it just a little bit. There we go. Give it some depth. Say about a 20. Should be good. Okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and hit Apply. Okay, see, doesn't that already look more visually interesting? See, it's got a shadow, we rounded the edges. It just kind of makes it pop once you put it on your blog. It'll stand out a little bit more. And that's what people want when they're, on a blog and they're reading. It's nice to add photos to help break up the content and, give people something visual to look at. But at the same time, you want to make that pop. If it's just a square standard photo that you just uploaded straight from your digital camera or your phone, it's just going to be kind of flat. And what you want to do is make your photos as visually appealing as possible. You want to capture people's interest and make sure they stick around. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and save it. Before I save it, we did talk a little earlier about SEO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name because, image 3163 doesn't really do a whole lot for Google. Google says, okay, what is image 3163? So that's not really a good name for it. So instead of that, what we're going to do is we're going to give it a different name that's SEO friendly. Now, my son has a really cute little lobster shirt on, got lobster. It's how we say it up here in New England. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a name of lobster t-shirt. Lobster hyphen T hyphen shirt. Lobster t-shirt. So now it's going to say lobster t-shirt.jpg. Now if by chance, you know, you're going to talk about lobsters. Maybe you went on a lobster boat, and you know you're adding this photo in to go along with whatever you're writing about in your blog. Giving the file name lobster t-shirt to the image is really going to help add some SEO value to that post, because Google will be able to read the image name and it'll see, oh, okay, this is a lobster t-shirt. You're just seeing that word lobster. If you use lobster, you know, again and again in your post, Google's going to rank you higher for that particular keyword. So now that we have the lobster t-shirt name on there, the file extension. You always want to leave the file extension as a JPEG when you're uploading photos to your blog, simply because the file is going to be smaller in size, and that's what we want. We definitely want smaller. Smaller is better on the web because, one, it's not going to take too long to load, which is definitely what you want. You don't want people to have to sit there and wait for 4 or 5 minutes, you know, for the photos to load. We've all been on those blogs that are awesome and you really want to read the post and you're jazzed about it, and you get there and it takes 5 minutes for the photos to load, and you're just, what do? You know, you immediately X out and you don't want to be waiting for that photo. So you don't want to, you know, get your readers to click off the page. You definitely want them to stick around, read your post, maybe even read a couple of posts. So just leave it as a JPEG. But and one little bit that you want to do is change the size. You see this file size here is 537 kilobytes. That is pretty large for just a quick little photo. The size of the photo is quite large, so what we want to do is bring that down just a little bit. A good file size that I like to use is the width of the photo, make it be 400. Okay, see that? That's going to go ahead and drop it down to 400 in width, 463, these are pixels, mind you, in the size. And we're going to leave it as JPEG, and what we're going to do is we're going to drop the size just a little bit to 6. Okay quality, somewhat small file size. We always want to make sure the file size is below 50 kilobytes. It'll be quick loading, it won't take up a lot of room on your server, and you know it'll just be better for you, as far as, you know, taking up too much space on your server. So now that we have it set to the right size, the file extension, the name, the kilobyte size is looking good, the quality is still good, it still looks really nice. You don't want to bring it down too much. It'll make the file size smaller, but it also affects the quality. So you definitely want to make sure that you stay with a good quality photo. Okay, now we have this ready. It's got a shadow, it's edited, has good SEO value. We're going to go ahead and save it. So we're going to hit save. It'll just take a minute, and it'll go ahead and save it to, you know, whatever folder you have on your computer. And that's it. It's been saved. It's saved onto your computer. You can go ahead now and go to your blog and upload it. Thanks. I hope you learned something.